he cashed out big on his $3.46 million Super Bowl bet.
So much money, he needed a wheelbarrow.
A wheelbarrow.
He is the definition of an American hero.
There's a man who walks among us, average looking in appearance, but known in Texas as a legend. Not for inventing something revolutionary, not for dominating Wall Street, but for placing a single, jaw-dropping bet that shocked both Vegas and the world. And it wasn't just the size of the bet, it was the strategy behind it. Most gamblers lose money, but not Mattress Mack. The Texas furniture mogul has managed to turn sports betting, a risky game of chance, into a brilliant marketing strategy. Beneath that smile and southern charm lies one of the sharpest minds in business, a mind that allowed him to walk away with the largest legal sports betting win in U.S. history.
Mattress Mack is waking up a whole lot richer. Maybe you heard, according to Caesars, he won a record-breaking $75 million.
But let's rewind. This story starts long before the lights of Vegas, back when Jim McIngvale was just a furniture salesman. Jim McIngvale's story starts long before the sports betting headlines. Back in the early 1980s, with just $5,000 and a pickup truck, he and his wife moved to Houston, Texas, to start a furniture business called Gallery Furniture. Business was tough at first. No fancy degrees or big investors, just a man with an oversized personality. But this wasn't enough for Jim to have a successful business. In fact, sales began dropping so much after opening his business that at one point Jim was left with only $10,000. But Jim didn't let that deter him from what he was about to do next. He did something wild. He took his last $10,000 and bought a local TV commercial.
Folks, do yourself a favor. Before you buy furniture in Houston, come out to Gallery Furniture, 6006 I-45 North between Tidwell and Parker.
So dressed to impress, he shouted his way through a homemade commercial, ending with a phrase that would become iconic today.
Gallery Furniture will save you money!
And it worked. People remembered the energy, the confidence of Mattress Mack, and they showed up in huge numbers to buy furniture, allowing him to save his store. Over the next few years, Mattress Mack became a Houston icon, known not just for his business acumen, but for his philanthropy, offering his store as a shelter during hurricanes, the 2021 Texas freeze, and giving generously to local causes.
Shelters across Houston, stadiums, convention centers, churches embracing the suddenly homeless. And one man opened the doors to his store, an act of generosity that made perfect sense.
What could be a softer crash pad than a furniture store that already has model bedrooms? But not every store owner would be happy with evacuees sprawling out over millions of dollars of merchandise. But then again, not every store owner is a Texan, known as Mattress Mack.
But behind the generosity, the showmanship, and the furniture deals, Mack was preparing for something else, something no one saw coming. He was crafting a financial strategy so risky, yet so precise, that it would blur the line between business promotion and high-stakes gambling forever. Around 2019, Mattress Mack faced a challenge most business owners would envy: how to ensure millions of dollars in promotions. So he came up with a simple but genius strategy. He launched a promotion tied to a local sports team, where he told customers that if they spent a certain amount of money and that team won, their furniture would be free. But at the same time, he placed large bets on the same team. Therefore, if the team lost, he keeps the customer's money and only loses the bet. And if the team wins, he pays back the customers, but wins big on the bets, covering the refunds and often making a profit.
You know, I played football in college at the University of Texas and at North Texas, and always made little bets and played poker in high school and college, and then morphed into other betting. And then I came up with an idea one time when the Houston Texans were playing the Dallas Cowboys, first time ever they played. The Texans weren't a very good team, Cowboys were a good team. So I said, why don't we do a promotion? If the Texans win, customers buy furniture and they get their money back if the Texans do win.
So the first time he tried his promotion was when the Houston Texans played against the Dallas Cowboys for the first time. He told customers that if they bought $3,000 worth of furniture, and the Texans won, they get a full refund. And this definitely got people talking, and customers lined up to spend millions of dollars in furniture.
We did the promotion, sold about $2 million worth of furniture in 3 days, which was the best 3 days we'd ever had. And the Texans, of course, were ahead 14-0 at halftime, and it was exciting. The Cowboys ended up winning, so that was the first one I ever did. And I said customers like this relevance and maybe getting their furniture back if the team wins, if the outcome is their way. So been doing it ever since.
Over time, his bets got bigger and the promotions got louder. He wasn't just making furniture sales, but he was engineering viral marketing campaigns and hedging them with some of the largest sports wagers ever placed. But none of it compared to the lesson he would learn next. For the next few years, Jim continued to perfect his strategy. Whether it was the Super Bowl or March Madness, Jim took every opportunity Houston had and turned sports betting into a business marketing campaign. But in 2014, Jim became overconfident when the Seattle Seahawks played the Denver Broncos on Super Bowl Sunday. It was a game that was supposed to be an easy win for the Broncos. The analysts and fans were calling it a near guaranteed win. So what did Mattress Mack do? He offered customers a full refund of their money if they purchased at least $6,000 worth of furniture, and the Seahawks won. And since he was also confident that the Broncos would win, he didn't place a hedge bet in case they lost. But this time he made a big mistake.
We had $9 million liability. I thought we were going to have about $1 million liability. We had $9 million. And so I hadn't hedged it at all. So I was on the treadmill for about 3 hours, and when none of the warehouse guys were coming by and high-fiving me, I knew I was in trouble. Then the phone rang. My wife was on the phone. I said, "Who won?" She said, "Seattle won, dummy. We're out $9 million." So that was a big setback.
By halftime, the Broncos, everyone's favorite, wasn't just losing, but they were being humiliated. And this unfortunately resulted in Gallery Furniture losing over $7 million when they had to refund the hundreds of customers who participated in the promotion. But Mack, with his determinant mindset, didn't give up. He thought of this loss more like a marketing expense since it brought hundreds of customers to his business. So he went back to the drawing board. He ran the numbers and he knew what he did wrong. And he was now ready to make up for his loss 10 times over. Three years had passed, and Jim found his next opportunity. It was not the Super Bowl this time, but rather the Baseball World Series. It was Houston Astros, and they were in the World Series final. The Houston Astros were red hot, so he launched his same promotion, but this time he went all in. This year's deal offered to refund any customer who spent at least $3,000 on furniture if the Astros won the World Series. And this time, he placed millions in bets on the Astros that even if they won, his bet payout would cover the cost of his refunds.
You come out here and buy a mattress, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns, $3,000 or better, have it delivered the same day. It's important the customers get the furniture in their home. Have it delivered the same day. If the Astros win the World Series, you get your money back. I bet so far $10 million at various sports books. One place I got 12 to 1, one place I got 10 to 1, other places 5 to 1. Blended average is 7.5 to 1. So if the Astros win the World Series and we get back $75 million plus the $10 million investment, and the $75 million will pay back the customers, we'll have some delighted customers with some remarkable stories to tell.
He placed a series of bets across multiple sports books, carefully strategized, totaling over $10 million. The sports books called it madness. Analysts said it was a publicity stunt, but Mack knew what he was doing. Game after game, tension rose. Each inning brought Mack closer to either massive refunds or a historic payday. And then it happened. The Astros won, customers cheered, mattresses were free, and for Mattress Mack, he cashed out to the tune of $75 million. Yes, $75 million, the largest legal sports betting win in US history. But for Mack, it wasn't about the money. That payout didn't go toward a yacht or a mansion. It went back into the business, into the community, into doing it all over again. Because for Mack, betting isn't a vice, it's a business model, a marketing technique disguised as a gamble. So in a world where most gamblers go broke chasing glory, Jim McIngvale found a way to turn the game into a profitable strategy. He is a man who turned a furniture store into a household name, a man who turned sports betting into a marketing tool, who turned giving back into a way of life. And the best part, he's just getting started.